Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, National Weather Watch. Today's June 26th, and right now we're looking at North America. There's Alaska, Washington, Texas here. You can see the big ridge just centered over Texas here, and you can see this troughing here that spawns some of that severe weather here across places like Indiana with a couple of tornado reports, a lot of wind reports here across the upper Midwest here as well. We'll take a look at these details coming up here in a moment. If we put this into motion, you can see this ridge really not going anywhere too quick. You got this trough here across the west trying to put a little bit of a damper on it, but it's not going to make much of a difference here. It's just going to bring some breezy conditions and some fire conditions down across the desert southwest. Now, taking a look here, this is the visible satellite imagery here. So if we look at what's going on here, you can see the tornadoes that kind of developed yesterday across some of Indiana here before the sun came and set across the region. But you can also see the low pressure system here that spawned that severe weather. This is going to do something similar here across some of the East Coast today. So there you go. We're in nighttime now. Sun rises, and you can see the spin in the atmosphere here, setting the stage for more severe weather here across much of the East Coast coming up, all the way up towards New York and Long Island even. So that's about where we are currently. There's also a lot of smoke here up across Canada. It's getting wrapped back around this low pressure system in towards Minnesota and Wisconsin. We've got some air quality alerts going on across that region as well. This is looking at those storm reports yesterday. See those couple of red dots there across Indiana. Pretty interesting tornado activity there. And you probably see it on social media if you just go ahead and Google Indiana tornado. A pretty damaging looking tornado rolling through the area. All the blue are wind gusts here. The green is hail. You can see a couple isolated ones across Nebraska and Idaho yesterday as well. This is looking at day one. Check out this enhanced risk here across the East Coast, almost up towards New York. Slight does include New York City itself, and you can see some of the return here across some of the high plains for some severe weather here over the next couple of days. This is day one tornado across some of Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, and all the way up towards New Jersey or Pennsylvania as well today. This is day two, and there's also a tornado threat across here. I was thinking about chasing that. I still might here just for a one-day type deal. But anyway, a little bit of high plains insanity may return here over the next couple of days. This is a nice graphic here, National Weather Service, New York, and you can see it does include some of Long Island here. You can see slight chance of thunderstorms here, so they do a nice job of rounding up what exactly to expect here with these severe storms. This is back down to Texas, Fort Worth, high temps, heat indexes here. So as you know, the temperatures are going to be bad enough, but it's pretty muggy down there across much of the south there, including Texas. And so the temperatures are going to feel much worse than they actually are. More on that here in a moment. This is Houston National Weather Service. You can see the excessive heat warnings in place, heat advisories, and very warm temperatures expected all the way through the weekend coming up. This is a quick look at the tropical disturbances. Right now, the only thing that's going on is Cindy out there, and it is very weak. No threat to land here. Brett is all but gone at this time. Now, this is taking a look at Cindy. You can kind of see the spin there. A little bit of deep convection still off on the eastern flank of it there, but absolutely no threat to the mainland USA here. This is looking at dangerous heat, southeast Arizona. And it's going to get downright warm here. This is the hot time of the year for Arizona, especially when the monsoon is not yet coming across the region. This is actually looking at Phoenix, Arizona, some gusty winds as well. So we're going to have some critical fire danger across the area with these warm temperatures. Now, this is taking a look at 100-meter wind speed. I'll put this into motion. You can see as you go through the afternoon hours today across from Arizona, New Mexico, into Utah and western Colorado, those winds really pick up during the afternoon hours. So watch out for that. Be careful. It's very dry out there. Critical fire danger is in place, and you can see Wednesday afternoon rinse and repeat here as we go on in through the end of June. This is looking at those fire weather outlooks here. It does include Flagstaff here, a lot of Arizona into New Mexico and portions of Utah and Colorado also. This would be day two, and day three again going to be some fire weather danger down there. This is looking at northern Arizona here with these gusty winds, very low relative humidity values here, gusting up to 45 miles per hour with low relative humidity. Does not take much to start fires. This is looking at risk of hazardous temperatures. This goes from July 1st all the way through July 7th. Check it out. In Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, all the way out towards Tennessee, even back up into the Pacific Northwest. Going to get some pretty warm temperatures going on here, including the desert Southwest before the monsoon, which will probably arrive at some point in July here, but it looks like it's not here yet. And when you delay the onset of the monsoon, you warm up Arizona pretty well as you go on in through June. The sun is just directly overhead, brutally hot. Now, this is what's going on. You can see the ridge here across Texas, the troughing here. It's what's bringing that severe weather to the East Coast. We got this next trough off here, it's going to start some severe weather across the high plains as well. But not much relief for Texas coming up here in the short term, as you see this ridge just hanging on as I scroll through the days here. Troughing remaining over some of the Intermountain West. Ridge just continues to be across East Texas and Louisiana through about Thursday afternoon, shown here. Now this is looking at apparent temperature. As we scroll through here, you can see these temperatures are downright ridiculous. Some of the Dallas metro area, I mean, you're talking about potentially 120 degree heat index, and you can see it's different versus the desert Southwest, where the air is drier here. So you get more evaporative cooling across the desert Southwest than you do across Dallas here, as you've got these big dew points and this high humidity. It's just oppressive heat. And so then as we scroll into Tuesday, watch these just return all the way across Oklahoma, all the way up into southern Kansas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi down there. Just these intense waves of heat across the region. So yeah, that heat index is the real deal here, folks. And let's take a look at that here. This is 2-meter temperature. So this is just the actual temperature, which is bad enough, especially across some of West Texas. Look at this, 113. But you can see these temperatures across Arizona. They're getting up pretty darn high as well. But this is the actual temperature. This is not taking the heat index into account. And you can see some of the thunderstorms kind of move through here and try to provide some relief from this oppressive heat as you go through the afternoon and evening hours. Now, this would be Wednesday here. Then again, these are actual temperatures all the way into Kansas, 100-degree temperatures, not out of the question. Now, this is looking at the dew point. Now, this is the killer. This what really brings that heat index. Look at some of these dew points all the way up towards 80 degrees just east of Dallas here through this afternoon. And compare that across the desert Southwest with the much drier air. And you can imagine that allows for that evaporative cooling off your skin, so it feels like a completely different ballgame. You can see, again, some of the thunderstorms propagating through some of this, this high moisture content. Wednesday afternoon, again, a little bit of relief for places central West Texas here as you go through Wednesday afternoon. But the temperature is still so high, it's still going to just be downright broiling out there. Now, this is looking at the GFS. We're going to look at precipitation over the next couple of weeks. This is hot off the presses, the 12Z run. Let's just update that to make sure all that data is in there for the 12Z. And you can see that low pressure system here. And there go those severe storms along the East Coast. You can get some isolated flooding out there, even a tornado or two, and you can see the high plains activity starting up here as we go through the day today. And then Tuesday, some more activity out there across some of the plains as well. But you can see Texas not getting much precip, nothing for the desert Southwest, not much for California, Washington, Oregon there as well. And we'll keep scrolling out here. Let's just go ahead and fly way off into the future here. Look at Texas, no sign of precipitation across some of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, probably at least through Saturday afternoon. Maybe some thunderstorm activity will start to return here as we look way off into the future, but we're looking 200 hours out at this point, and you can see not much for Texas except maybe some of West Texas and some of that thunderstorm activity. But we'll scroll out all the way through 16 days, and you can see the favored areas for some precip across the east portions, but the west really drying out this time of year, which is actually pretty typical before the monsoon season finally starts to arrive into Arizona. So anyway, hope you guys like these national reports. I'm just trying to I'm just giving it a try here and seeing if I can fine tune this and get an audience going for it. And if I can, I'll probably do these every day. It's always something to watch around the lower 48. I'll always do the Pacific Northwest daily briefings as well. And California, as it gets active, I'll always do those briefings also. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. We'll do this again either tomorrow or the next day, and I will talk to you guys then.